What's up, guys? Back here again with another quick video. Just want to try something different. Really been thinking about, how I can add more as far as content and ideas to my channel. And I'm really thinking about, doing a segment called My Thoughts. And my thoughts about a lot of things. My thoughts about the aquarium fish keeping hobby as a whole, what fish to keep, tank size, filtration, maintenance, types of fish, beginner fish, advanced fish, just so many things. I think that when we look at, tanks, we go to a store, we go to our local fish store, we go to, PetSmart, Petco, whatever, and we trying to decide, what we can do with this box of glass, essentially. I have these thoughts, I have these ideas that, I'm just itching to share with people. So I think, there will be some different segments. It may not be just unboxings or updates on tanks or updates on fish, but maybe just kind of my thoughts on different aspects of the hobby. So I thought I would start with my thoughts on the aquarium hobby as a whole. And my thoughts will be based on my experiences, what I've learned, what I've picked up. I don't want to make these videos 20 minutes long, but I'm fortunate enough to have picked up, I think, enough information, advice, and even guidance that I think I can, offer those thoughts with a lot of confidence. So my thoughts with the aquarium hobby are like any other thoughts I would have when it comes to hobby or being creative with something. A lot of it is simply what you make of it. A lot of it is how creative can you be? A lot of it is taking risk with the limitations and boundaries you have when it comes to tank size, stocking options, escapes, materials, hell, money. A lot of all of that comes into consideration. And, I can, do videos on cost and low-tech tanks and high-tech tanks and things like that. But really, what I want to do now is just kind of offer, my thoughts on the hobby and essentially. So about, I guess, 2.5, 3 years ago, probably around this time, around Christmas time, is when I got my first tank. And what I'm going to try and do is maybe overlay some pictures of that tank. It was a Fluval 2.5 gallon spec. And I had really no interest in a hobby. I had no interest in fish. I had no interest in aquascaping. I live in an apartment by myself. I really didn't want the hassle of having a mess or feeding or the additional cost. And I tell the story a lot. Once I set that tank up, everything changed. It seemed to enlighten me on so many different levels of creativity to accountability. And when I mean creativity, I mean, essentially in this glass box, I can do essentially whatever I want. Now, yeah, there's rules, there's limitations, there's guidelines, there's things such as the nitrogen cycle, there's things such as capacity and what fish we can put in here. There's, rules as far as feeding and maintenance and things like that. But all those things aside, I can create whatever I want. And let's be honest, I'm no artist. You know, I don't think I have or was ever blessed with the artistic gene. I think I'm pretty creative, and I think that has allowed me to be a little bit artistic. But you know, if you sit me down with a blank sheet of paper and a pencil and a pen, who knows what the hell I'll come up with. But inside this, you know, glass box full of water, I'm very, very comfortable, and it's allowed me to express that level of creativity. And it's very, very, very rewarding. Not so much rewarding to where I want to show it off, but you know, a lot of hobbies are based off of how the individual feels. And I can be honest and let you know that each one of my tanks I am absolutely proud of. I love them. And you know, the accountability piece comes when, you know, you have to maintain that, you know, because it's not going to maintain itself. I apologize for the glare in the background. The TV's on. But, you know, this has allowed me to, I guess, seek out whatever sort of artistic gene or some sort of artistic aspiration that I may have ever had. It's allowed me to seek that out and find it and really relish in it. Also, that level of creativity has allowed me to take risk and try new things, to try things that maybe you wouldn't necessarily consider mainstream in the hobby, particularly like this bowl, which I'm absolutely in love with. You know, this was absolutely a risk. I wasn't sure it was going to work, and it is working. I couldn't be happier with this. You know, in a lot of things in life, it is about taking risk and stepping outside your comfort zone. And what's ironic about this is this particular bowl is sitting right where that 2.5 gallon fluval spec sat about 2.5 years ago. So I think it's fitting that maybe one of the biggest risks I've taken throughout the hobby is sitting in a place where essentially it all began for me. Let me be clear about something. This hobby is not cheap. It isn't. It's not cheap. You know, yeah, you can find a tank at Petco on the $1 a gallon sale, but you factor in lighting, filtration, heating, scaping the tank, plants, live plants, your hardscape, things like that. It's not cheap. So I would tell anybody who's looking to get involved in it, set aside some money or be willing to invest in that. The fish are not cheap. You're going to lose fish. Fish are going to die. You're going to overfeed your fish. Something's going to go wrong at some point in time. You'll wake up with a tank full of algae. That's just part of it. You know, I've done videos before about having balance in your life, having balance in your aquariums. And I think there's a lot to be said there. I believe, you know, the more consistent you are with your schedule, maintenance, that accountability piece that I talked about before, the more balanced and well-maintained your aquariums will be. But make no mistake about it, I heard someone say in a video before that these are luxury items, and they are. I mean, I have, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tanks up and running, you know, and my rent's paid and my utilities are paid. Like this is all extra stuff. This is all fun stuff. But also, you know, my thoughts are that it's very, very rewarding. It allows me to, you know, express that level of creativity and have an outlet. You know, I can work an 8-hour shift dealing with people from all walks of life and come home and my feet are tired and my knees hurt from being on my feet all day. But I can stand in front of a tank for hours, it seems, and plan it or rescape it or do a water change or adjust the lighting or feed the fish, whatever. I can stand there for hours and I don't feel any kind of pain. It's the most relaxing thing in the world. So my thoughts on this hobby as a whole are nothing but positive. If anybody's looking for some sort of creative outlook or some sort of creative, form of expression, and you can't draw, you can't mold, you can't do anything, or hell, maybe even you just want to try something different, or maybe you just got sucked into some YouTube video, kind of like me, and I'll do some other videos down the road about my thoughts on YouTube and my thoughts on how it impacts the hobby. And again, it's nothing but positive. There's so much information out there and so many awesome creators that have influenced me. But it is what you make of it. There are limitations, there's boundaries, there's laws. But when you are comfortable working inside those boundaries and limitations and laws, it's such a feeling of, I guess, freedom and relaxation for me. So my thoughts are nothing but positive about the aquarium hobby, freshwater or saltwater. Is there work? Absolutely. Is there accountability? Absolutely. But hell, it's anything we do in life. So with that being said, this will be my first episode and essentially my thoughts, my feelings, maybe even some sort of future plans or ideas of what I think, can maybe even help out anybody who's looking for help or looking for guidance or looking for ideas. I do not have a huge YouTube channel, but I've gotten some comments and some questions, and I think deep down inside that, I think I've been able to help some people, whether it's a purchase, whether it's a decision, whether it's something similar that they've purchased from me. And, that takes this positive experience to a whole nother level. So I invite anybody who's looking for, something to try new, something to take a risk. By all means, I think aquariums and the fish keeping hobby is well worth the risk. It's something that needs to be handled delicately with care. And I think once you do that, you'll be able to share a lot of the same positive experiences that I have and so many other people have. So with that being said, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. And as always, talk to you guys down the road. Bye.